Hello folks, this is Rick Garza here once again to talk to you about the character and the habits and the life of a professional sales athlete. I have a question for each one of us today on this video blog, and that is, what do you and I have in common with Mozart? Or what do you and I have in common with the Beatles? And you may be wondering, what's that have to do with being a professional sales athlete? Well, it has a lot to do with it, because each one of those individuals were considered professional and elite at whatever they were going after in their lifetime. But in both cases, both Mozart and the Beatles, they wrote songs and they wrote music. And you know what is so interesting is that as I studied that, I reminded myself of a message I had shared with all of us here earlier. And that is, no matter what symphony you look at, no matter what song you can recall listening to growing up, no matter what songs you're listening to now, the music that was written was based on just 7 major notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I remember that from The Sound of Music, and I had some flashbacks to think of the fact that there really are only 7 major notes. Now there are derivatives, there are the minors, and then there's the flats and the sharps, but they all come from those 7 notes. So think about that. The most melodic symphonies and melodies and tunes that you recall that have ever been written, are being written, and will be written come from just those 7 notes. So in the world of a professional sales athlete, or in the world of just living life, sometimes we can make things a little bit more complex than they really need to be. And if from 7 notes, every single song that's ever been written known to man have been derived from those 7 notes, then maybe life isn't that complex. Maybe we need to step back and say, what are those simple steps we can take to address a situation, to address a problem, to achieve whatever it is we're going after? You know, if you want to sell, you have to talk to customers, and you can only talk to one at a time. If you want to achieve a project, you have to have a process defined, and you got to work on step 1 before you work on step 20. If you want to get in shape and get ready for the next marathon, you have to work on that first trip around the block and not worry about the 26.2 miles you're going to run 6 months from now. You see, we all have end goals in mind, and they are pretty lofty. And hopefully, as you're watching these video blogs, you realize that there's nothing impossible for what you can accomplish with God by your side. But when you start to look at those lofty goals, you realize how big they are, how audacious they are, how amazing they would be once you achieve them. And then you begin to think about the end game, and you forget about all of those simple steps we need to take. You see, it's 1 millimeter at a time, and it's difficult, but if you take it 1 step at a time, you'll get to the next step, and then you go to the next. And you will learn, like Mozart and like the Beatles, and like I've learned through many difficulties, that I just can't make it too complex. I got to take it 1 note at a time and start to put things together and watch what happens. Because what's happening is you're not giving up, you're trying. And if those notes don't work well together, well, then you rewrite the notes and start over again. If that mixing of words with that melody doesn't sound just right, that's okay. You can always start over. The important thing is you start, you have an end in mind where you want to go, but then you begin to take it step by step. And just like those 7 notes, when you put them together in a way that's God ordained, it'll be a melody that will help you achieve anything and everything you've ever wanted to. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Hope you have a great day as you're singing your songs of sales and success as a professional sales athlete. Have a blessed day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.